On a regular basis, I get emails from people asking, how do I get my songs cut? So this video is going to give you some general information that will hopefully answer that question for most of you. Now, I assume the people that are emailing me are talking about getting their songs cut by major label artists, the ones who get their songs on the radio and play the big venues. If you're after cuts by independent artists, I suggest you just approach them directly. Maybe go to one of their shows, talk to them afterwards, or send them a message through their Facebook page or their website. They're usually more accessible. But the major label artists, it's a lot harder to get to. I also want to say that I live in Nashville, so this is the market that I'm most familiar with. So I'm going to be talking specifically about what I know, which is this market. But I think the general principles are going to apply wherever you live or whatever genre you're trying to write. In order for a song to get cut, 3 conditions have to be met. It has to be professional quality writing, it has to be a perfect fit for a current artist, and that artist has to hear it. So let's start with the first condition. If you might be writing songs that everybody around you is crazy about. Maybe your friends and your family and your fans are all telling you, this stuff is fantastic, man, I like it better than the stuff that's on the radio. And if that's the case, congratulations, that's a real thing. Nobody can take that away from you. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the same reaction if you come to Nashville. Because this is where everybody comes whose friends and fans and family think their songs are better than what's on the radio. It's kind of like if you're the president of the senior class and the class valedictorian and you're voted most likely to succeed. That's really impressive until you graduate and go to Harvard, and then who cares? Everybody was. That's what Nashville's like for songwriters. This is a lot harder crowd to stand out in. And one of the most important and most difficult ways to stand out is to have something that's fresh and different. Now, a lot of you are probably going, well, what are you talking about? I turn on the radio and everything sounds the same. And I know what you mean. Country radio kind of finds something that works and then they beat it to death. But even if you're writing and following the trend, you still have to do it in a fresh, original way. And I'll give you one of my favorite examples. Now, anybody that listens to country music knows we've had an absolute epidemic of songs about riding around in your truck with your girlfriend out in the country looking to party. Well, I think one of the best songs on that subject is the Luke Bryan hit Drunk on You. The chorus of that song starts out, "Girl, you make my speakers go boom boom." Now, whether you like that line or you think it's the dumbest thing you ever heard, you got to admit it's different. It stands out. You haven't heard it before. And then in the second verse, he talks about his girlfriend's kisses throwing little cherry bombs into my fire. Now, anybody can say, "Oh, baby, you're so hot. Oh, girl, you turn me on." And that's what those lines are saying, but in a really fresh, original way. And that's what you have to strive for if you want to get attention from people in Nashville. Now let's talk about the second condition, that it be a perfect fit for a current artist. First of all, you have to keep up with the musical trends. If you're writing a song that sounds like it would have been perfect for George Jones, could be a great song, doesn't mean you'll get it cut today. Styles change, the music evolves, and you have to stay up with the trends. And the other thing is, it has to fit the artist's image, because that's how they create their images, is through the songs that they sing. And every artist has a little bit different image, but one thing they all have in common is they want to look good to their fans. In order to get your songs on the radio, to fill stadiums, to get people to spend lots of money and drive hours to come and see you in concert, you've got to inspire some real devotion in your fans. And the way that the artists do that is a male artist has to come across like the guy that every guy wants to be and every girl wants to be with, and the opposite for the female artists. So if you're writing songs about being old and out of shape, or feeling weak or feeling like a victim or doing something unkind or immoral, it's going to be really hard to get those songs cut because the artists aren't going to want to portray themselves like that to their fans. And another thing that all the artists have in common is they're all looking for a big smash hit single. Nobody's looking for album cuts. If they put 12 songs on their CD, they're hoping all 12 of those songs have the potential to go out there and get on the radio and go to the top of the charts. For them to have that big career, they have to get lots and lots of people spending lots and lots of money, maybe driving hours and hours to come out and see them. And still the driving force behind that is the big hit single on broadcast radio. I know there are other ways that people access their fans these days, but that's still the main one. So all the artists are looking for the big hit single. Now let's talk about the third condition, which is that they have to hear the song in order to fall in love with it and cut it. Any artist that would have an open door policy and say, hey, anybody that's got a song, send it to me, they would never have time to listen to them all. And it also would not be an efficient way of finding a hit song because the overwhelming majority of songs that they're going to get are not going to be professional quality writing, and they're not going to be a perfect fit for their image. So artists and the people around them who listen to songs for them rely on music publishers. Music publishers are kind of like agents for songs. They represent your songs, they go out, they try to get them cut, and then if they do, they share in the royalties. In Nashville, and I assume in most markets, the publishers rely on signing staff writers. And those are people who write for them exclusively and they represent all their songs. And the way they find them is they listen to writers that are recommended to them, because just like the artists, if they had an open door and they would listen to anybody, they would never have time to go out and get the songs cut. There would be so many people coming to see them. So they take appointments with people who are recommended to them by people whose judgment they trust. And of all the ones they listen to, they pick out the ones that they think are the best and the brightest and the most creative and the most original and the hardest working and the most driven. And they sign them to a full-time staff writing job. They give them money to live on, and they give them all the career support and emotional support they need to devote their lives to writing the best possible songs. The theory being that that's the way to come up with the best songs, is to take the cream of the crop and put them in a position where they can devote themselves to it. And so that's what you're competing with if you want to come to Nashville. And it's just tough. When those publishers get a meeting to pitch songs to an artist, they will comb through their catalog. It could be thousands and thousands of songs, and they'll pick out the ones that they think are the very best written and the most appropriate for that artist. And maybe they take 5 or 6 songs to play that day, and if one of them gets passed along to the artist, that was a good day. And that's just how tough it is. And I don't want to sugarcoat it and make you think it's any easier than it is. So basically the answer to how do I get my songs cut is you devote yourself to becoming a professional songwriter. Now, I know that's probably not the answer that you were hoping for when you started watching this video. You were probably hoping you were going to get the address where you could mail your songs or the person to call for an appointment when you come to town, but it just really isn't that easy. So, if anything I'm saying is discouraging you from pursuing this, well, I might have done you a favor, because it's a really, really tall mountain to climb and very few people ever make it to the top. If this is a dream you can't let go of, my suggestion is start finding ways to get input from professionals. You can join a songwriter organization like the Nashville Songwriters Organization. There are workshops and seminars and panels all over the country that are attended by professionals from the industry who will talk about songwriting and maybe listen to your songs. There are lots and lots of professionals who do song evaluations. I do them. I host workshops. You can find all about them on my website, barbaracloyd.com. And I also have a page of resources of other people that I think do a really good job of helping songwriters learn and grow. So if you're kind of starting out this process and you're looking for some places to get heard, you might want to check out my website as a way to get started. What I want to conclude this with is saying that just because your songs may never get on the radio doesn't mean that they're not important, that they're not valuable. Because writing songs is a wonderful thing to do. If you're a creative person, you got to be creating or you're going to go nuts. And writing songs helps you deal with your life. It helps you, process what you're going through, or maybe encapsulate a really special memory that you can save forever in a song. And then if you share your songs with people and they entertain them or uplift them or just maybe let them know they're not the only person that ever felt that way, then you've made that connection with somebody, and that's a really beautiful, important thing to do. So just because it's not on the radio doesn't mean that your music can't be of value to a lot of people. Writing songs is a joyful, satisfying, wonderful pursuit. Getting your songs cut, that's a lot of hard work.